Today, we're going to check out one of the most coolest lighthouses here in South Florida. And oh, by the way, Florida has a whole bunch of them. So let's go check them out. My journey begins driving a rather scenic route through Coconut Grove in Miami, Florida. Next, I will take the Rickenbacker Causeway. This will take me to Key Biscayne, which back in the day had to be done by boat. Today, this is the only way you can get to Key Biscayne. This bridge has 3.6 miles in overall length, with 1.2 miles of the bridge structure and 2.4 miles of the roadway. Oh yeah, and it will cost you a $2.25 in toll. And with that, you're going to get an amazing view from the top of the bridge of the Miami skyline. This road will take you right to Bill Baggs State Park. The entrance fee to the park is about $8 per vehicle. The state park is beautiful and it has some wonderful amenities. However, today is all about the Cape Florida Lighthouse. Right from the start, you can see the old iron top from the original and portions of the iron interior stairwell before entering the pathway towards the lighthouse. The Cape Florida Lighthouse is well kept, in my opinion. It is one of the oldest structures in Miami-Dade County. Here are some exterior stats for the lighthouse. It stands at 95 feet or 29 meters in height and was completed in 1825. There are 109 steps interior, decommissioned in 1990, but relit in 1996. Cape Florida was replaced by the Four-Way Rocks Lighthouse in 1878. The keeper's house was rebuilt as a replica of the original that was burned in the Seminole War. The keeper's house even had a cistern. Although it is not a fully functioning home, it just shows what life was like back then. Since there wasn't any fresh water, this tank kept fresh water on hand when needed. This lighthouse, like most, has endured the test of time, and it also has a story to tell. This lighthouse was rebuilt after the Seminole Wars. Both Indians and slaves would use this lighthouse as a gateway to freedom. It was part of the Underground Railroad, or Salt Railroad as it was called. They would escape towards the Bahamas, mainly Andros Island. Being that I was in the Bahamas, I became very curious and decided to look further into this. On July 23, 1836, Seminoles arrived to attack the lighthouse. The lighthouse keeper was Joe Thompson, who had a black slave named Aaron Carter as his helper. It was said that Carter spotted the Seminoles as they began to advance. Several shots were fired in exchange. Aaron was shot in the leg. I'd like to make a quick note here that while I was taking a tour of this lighthouse, the tour guide made mention that Carter was also used as a shield for Joe as they moved inside the lighthouse. Both Carter and Thompson moved to the safety at the top of the lighthouse. Frustrated, that night the Indians set fires to doors and windows at the base of the lighthouse, destroying the wooden stairs leading to the top, trapping the two men. The fire ignited all cans at the base of the lighthouse. Thompson fired back at the Indians and ultimately threw gunpowder down into the rising flames. the explosion killed Carter. The Indians thought the explosion killed both men. They burned down the keeper's home and took off in his boat. The explosion actually put out the fire. Thompson had no way to get down. He was alive but in bad shape, with one of his feet almost severed. Carter was lying dead next to him for 12 hours until help arrived from a passing ship that heard the explosion about 12 miles offshore. These stories are historical and they're very enlightening. I find that it is so important to keep these lighthouses going with your support. It is truly a piece of history and a work of art. Go and visit your local lighthouse and learn more about it. I mentioned before that I am from the Bahamas, so I wanted to find out more about these Seminoles, black Seminoles, and the slaves that escaped Andros. Let's go across the waters and see what we can find out. Check out my podcast for more detailed information. Join me for a quick visit to the Bahamas capital and see what I learned when speaking with Dr. Grace Turner. Wouldn't believe it. Don't miss this next episode.